The biggest problem is accessibility.
The shortage of attorneys is seen all over rural America, including here in the Heartland. I spoke with lawyers in both the private and public sectors, and they say this is a trend that's been going on for a decade.
There's been lots of openings within the state. If you look on Mo Careers, you'll see that there's lots of public defender openings throughout the state, but especially obviously in rural America, rural Missouri.
Young lawyers are not going into the practice of prosecuting attorney or considering that as an option, and that they are not able to fill all the seats they once previously had.
I would say in the last 5 to 10 years, I've seen a decline in new attorneys coming to the Kirksville area, and actually even more the rural areas outside of Kirksville. So interestingly, I'm now one of the old ones, and so, you know, attorneys are retiring, but there's not a lot of young people coming into the field.
The lack of attorneys has led to increased workloads, which has left some without representation.
There is more work than any attorney could ever imagine. You know, I turn away a plethora of cases on a daily basis because, you know, I have a maximum amount of workload in which I think that I can truly handle and manage it to the best of my ability and represent each client so that they need the highest level of representation and not just making them a number.
There's more work than there are lawyers. And when I started in Scotland County, there were actually myself and 3 other full-time practicing lawyers. Now there is just my office and 1 other attorney that just does corporate work. There's no private practice lawyers when there were 3 when I started here 15 years ago.
Each county has 2 courts, an associate court and a circuit court. When you have 7 counties and 2 courts per county, so that's 14, and there's only 2 of you, there's not enough hours in a day to make sure that you are making it to the right court. Sometimes you have right judges at the same time, but they're an hour and a half apart. How can you be in 2 places at once? That is impossible.
If attorneys' caseloads are too high, then clearly they can't provide adequate representation to their clients.
Presiding Judge Matthew Wilson of Missouri's 2nd Judicial Circuit says his biggest concern is maintaining accessibility to the courtroom. Currently, attorneys don't always have enough time to accept every case that comes their way.
You have individuals who are not then receiving adequate representation or appropriate representation, or those cases are being delayed until attorneys are available, which then delays justice, say, on the criminal side for victims of crime.
The workload attorneys have today often has them multitasking and being in multiple places at once.
If there aren't enough attorneys, then attorneys are either in court too much and they're not able to meet with people, or they're missing court or having to reschedule court, which then delays the court procedures even more.
Judge Wilson tells me that if these trends continue, we might see more virtual hearings, which will allow attorneys to be in multiple places at once without the extra travel. However, he does expect delays to continue as long as there are shortages of attorneys. Reporting from inside the Adair County courtroom, Nick Todorovich, KTVO News.